Om Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. So we'll look at the verse. Straight away we'll go to the verse number 7. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam saucham स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहंकार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिस्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरति जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. Okay, that's enough. So every day we'll chant so that at least you will remember these are the values. So the first one, as we have been discussing, Kshetra Kshetrajnam, which again, as Lord Krishna highlighted about Kshetrajna in details. Don't expect translation, okay? So you have to break your head. Now, actually he could have discussed about this Gya and a Purusha. Okay, even though Prakriti is called Kshetra, but what about Purusha and Gya? I hope you are able to follow me, okay? But remember, Kshetra, Gya, Purusha and Gya all are identical. Is it clear? We have discussed in details. So if that's why I gave you the pair Kshetra Kshetrajna, Purusha Prakriti, Gya Jnanam. Correct? So Jnanam was little left aside. So what is Kshetrajna? So Kshetrajna means what? The consciousness principle because of which presence all Prakriti, the experience or object of experience exist. So what is Kshetrajna? That is Gyam. That is ought to be known. That is something to be known. And that is again nothing but a Purusha. So that is, we use the word not Purusha in the colloquial languages or Indian languages. Okay. So here you have to look at a Purusha, Purishanar, the one that which is being in every living beings, not Purusha men, okay? So Purusha Stri, okay? Not this Purusha, okay? However, coming to the point here is very clear. If these are the things, now comes to the Jnanam, which starts from here. The first one says that when you look at the Jnanam means value here, the one of the most important value that is being highlighted as a first called Amanitvam. So generally, this Amanitvam translation comes as humility. Actually, when you say humility, this is called a wrong translation. I would rather say that limitation in translating, like we do seva, we translate as service. So for seva, there is no tax, but there is service tax. You understand how funny is it? Danam is translated as charity. All are, wrong translation. I can say either wrong translation or better to say these translations have its own limitation. That's better one. So this Amanitvam is a value to be developed. Because remember, value is to be developed, not to be practiced. Because more you practice value, more you will go crazy. So it is to be developed based on the understanding. So the more you understand, the more it becomes part of your life. It is all about understanding. Why and how, we'll see as much as possible. So the first one, it says, Amanitvam. Why not humility? But we say, absence of conceit. We'll see in details. Why? Because if you say that it is that called humility, then you have to practice to become humble. That is how people do it. I am humble. So you know, what does it mean, okay? So when somebody says, oh, I am humble, that means the person is really not humble, is pretending to be humble or practicing humility. Because here it says, let us look at the word itself. So Amanitvam means, we say very carefully, that very nicely, that na manitvam is called amanitvam. Nanjtat purusa. Na manitvam is called amanitvam. So then question may come, what is manitvam? So we say, that also we need to understand this very clearly. Manina bhavaha manitvam iti. So manina bhavaha, what is this manina bhavaha? So presenting one's own self in a bigger way. You understand the concept? The person who presents one's own self in a bigger way. So that means the person always trying to look for recognition, appreciation. And when you start looking for recognition and appreciation, then what will happen? Will you pay for it or not? If you want someone to appreciate you, in return, the person will ask something or not? You have to give it or not? That's why we say all these awards people get. So in reality, not only they have done, also they have to do, continue. That's why you can see there are different ways of bringing down. That's why recently I was going through one this medical paper, medical journal, very nicely they highlighted that whenever you achieve something, after achievement, almost 1 week, that chemical secretion continues. Means the happiness of any achievement continues for 7 days. And slowly that comes down. And it is bound that after success, you will become miserable. Unless when it comes 7 days, 6 days, you get another award, okay? Another success, another achievement. That's why a common person's life is, full of ups and downs. Because it is all about chemical secretion. Now here he says, look, very nicely and carefully, that a person always tries to present one's own self bigger than what exactly the person is. And why do you want to present yourself bigger than what you are not? It's not that you tell completely lie, but of course you tell a lie. It is like you might have gone to a 5-star hotel once in a year, but you can tell, look, every year I go to that place. This is example, okay? So you might have met somebody, shake a hand, take a photo. In fact, he's my friend, she's my friend. And once in a while, make that as a DP. Because nowadays a DP is a big thing, okay? Somewhere, if you have managed to take a photo somewhere, somehow. So preserve that photo till you die, okay? Sometimes your children also use that, okay? So here it is very common that presenting oneself bigger than what exactly you are. So that means it is a lie. You are lying yourself, and also you are trying to convince yourself that you are telling truth, and you present yourself different to others. You are lying to the society. And when a person gets into this mode, definitely that person will not understand anything. Will be surrounded by flatterers. Always will look for that people, those who will support his or her fancies. It's like, very nicely, it's Indian context, okay? But not in overseas context, completely Indian context this is. So the father used to talk very big way. Hey, look, everything big way. Look, during my marriage time, this happened, that happened. You know how I did, what I did. Then son was standing there. Yes, Papa, you came with that car. You remember you that came with that car? Then the father says, hey, where you are born? You are never born. How can you talk? Papa, if you can talk too much, let me talk also something, add it. So what I'm highlighting here is that once you have done something, accidentally or incidentally, now that is soothing to you, and you present yourself rightly or wrongly. What does it mean? That means there is some type of inferiority complex in you. So when you have inferiority complex, instead of looking at them instead of managing them, instead of handling them, or rather, instead of facing them carefully, you cover it up. You try to present yourself different. And especially these people, or this sort of people, those who have got manitvam, not amanitvam, absence of manitvam, this becomes those who, let us say, tell a lie to oneself, sense of conceit. Now, these people will never have genuine friend. They will not like to move with a friend. Always they will like to move with a person who is going to support their life. And those people always live with sense of fear, sense of insecurity. Only when once in a while somebody praises or accepts whatever you talk, that time the person feels okay, not good. That's why what is to be done here is, the one should understand why one is telling lie or presenting differently. As already I have highlighted this point, that the moment you discover that you are presenting yourself differently, you need to see why are you presenting yourself different. Deep within, somewhere, there is sense of rejection. Maybe you are not aware of it, or you may be aware of it. May or may not remember this point. But some type of sense of rejection is there, which later on shows that you are incompetent. So that means incompetency. So in order to avoid this incompetency, then you look for appreciation, then you look for official appreciation. So what is official appreciation? Official appreciation is called awards. So in India, we have Padma Award. Basically official Padma Award, okay? So Padma Shri, Padma Bhushana, Padma Vibhushana, finally Bharata Ratna. So one of the topmost civilian award is called Bharata Ratna. Unfortunately, one young man is being given, that poor fellow's life is gone. He should have been given when he was going to die, okay? Because once you get, you are young, as Bharata Ratna, the topmost civilian award, your life is gone. It's a boring, painful. Poor fellow cannot come out, cannot do anything. His life is gone, saturated. I feel sorry for the fellow. There is no excitement in his life. Only hoping that my son will do something. It's a very painful thing. However, coming back to the point. So the official acknowledgement you look for. Hey, look, society job is to acknowledge. That is their job. You don't have to worry. But when you look for official arrangement or acknowledgement, then what happens? Now you are in the loop of telling yourself lie. And in the process, you will discover you will be only surrounded by liars. And it is a give and take policy. So if you are being taken care by them. In return, you have to take care of them. So if you have this Manitvam attitude, so that means that you are presenting yourself more than what you are, or sometimes less than what you are, both way, okay? Differently. Definitely, you are insecure, and sense of fear, sense of loss, and sense of rejection is there in you. I would rather say deep within somewhere unresolved sense of rejection is there. And that is really deep, not on the surface. Because of the deep self-rejection, directly or indirectly, you want to present yourself differently, including dressing yourself, starting with, okay, makeups, coloring hair. It's a funny thing to say. Everything. Because you want to present yourself differently, so that nobody will reject. Then what happens? It is exactly, we say very nicely, that literally you are sitting on the top of what? All these, what do you call them? I'm not getting in English the word. Like, or they make these crackers, that powder, gunpowder they call, na? No, dynamite is not. That is gunpowder, the black ones. Gunpowder they call. I think gunpowder they call. So you are literally sitting on the heap of gunpowder. Nicely covered, you understand? Suppose if you are sitting on the heap of gunpowder, from which, out of which they make these crackers, okay? Different type of crackers. Now, you know that you are sitting on the top of gunpowder, heap of the gunpowder. What will happen? Anybody comes with a, light or cigar or whatever, or some spark takes place, or unusual light happens. Suppose bulb starts glowing better. What will happen to you? You understand the concept? So also, a Manitvam person is always insecure. Means whenever you present yourself differently, you are inviting insecurity. So you cannot be happy, you cannot relax, nor your life is going to be simple. In fact, you are inviting problem because you are complicating your life. So the more a person understands this, like how you complicate your life, this is called understanding. There is nothing called practice. That every moment when I presented me little differently, how much complication I created for me. You understand the difference now? The moment I presented myself differently, how much complication I created for me. And moreover, this Manitvam person, the one who presents differently, that person has to tell lie, only lie, and has to think a lot. And that person has to have stress. So one of the main reasons of stress is you present yourself differently. starting with presenting differently to your parents, to your spouse, to in the office, society, everywhere. At least start to be natural with your personal relationship to start with. You don't have to present yourself differently. Don't worry. Because more and more I understand this aspect, then what will happen? I will start working not to present myself differently. That I am working, please understand, a common person works always to present differently. Why are you going to the office? Why are you doing this job, that job? And what is your business card? All these things, nothing but to present differently. You can say, oh, I present myself elegantly, professionally. Fantastic. I don't tell lie, okay? You know better. So, if this is the case, the more you understand this, the more you work for the absence of it. Yes, you happens to have a post, you happens to have the best, but you don't consider that is you. Then automatically you become a humble person. So the humility becomes the outcome. So you don't work for humility. You don't practice humility. But you work for what? For the absence of Amanitvam, that self-conceit. Telling lie to yourself. Presenting yourself different. That's why whenever you present yourself, including dressing, so think that, am I going to tell lie? Am I going to present myself differently to the society? How long can I present myself differently to the society, to the others? Is it really worth? How long? How long can I bury myself? It's not going to work. That's why more I understand this, more I become humble. And once I become humble, the humility, when it becomes part of my life, of course, the next value will follow. And what is that next value? Next value is called adambha. So when it says very nicely, also we need to say adambhitvam. Generally, is it translated as simplicity? General translation, okay? Again, it is not practice, okay? And how to achieve simplicity, we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.